JP. Whoa. Whee. Better wake up. Whoa. Better shake up, shake up.
I wanna wake up. I wanna shake up.
Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. And if you are new to this channel, I want to say hi to you and welcome. Today I'm going to be speaking about my journey with God, my faith journey with God. It all started as a little boy. I was growing up with a real love for football. I still love football, and it started at school where I used to play football and sweat, and sometimes I play in competitions. That was primary school. I wasn't as great in primary school, but I had to make myself great. I started really pushing hard and training hard to become great. I always loved football, and I played in a lot of school football competitions, and I never thought of football to be a career. I always see it as a sport. I used to see it as a sport, because when people ask you what you want to be, most people will say a doctor, a police, fireman, and I used to say I want to be a police, from since preschool, because that is just what I heard and what I know. And but when I finished primary school, when I graduated, I really didn't know what I wanted to be. I used to say police, but until I graduated, on my graduation days, when I realized what I really want to be, who I really want to be. And I got this revelation of who I really want to be through a classmate. This classmate, deceased Dwayne Legal, rest in peace. During the graduation ceremony, I really didn't know who I wanted to be, but Dwayne, he said, and he wanted to be a professional footballer. And after he said that is when I realized, wait, that's a career that someone can achieve. And after that day is when I made up in my mind that I want to be a professional footballer. Growing up, it didn't seem possible because of those around me who always say, no, you can never be a professional footballer. And I'm not talking about my parents and those in my household, no. I'm talking about friends, outside family members, church members. I mean, a lot of people, work friends. They were just always saying these things because they never see it possible, probably for me, or see it as a career, And people always used to say, even if I'm doing that, get something to fall back on. But in my mind, I never thought about ever falling back. So, I never thought about falling back. So I never put anything in place to say, I wanna do this, and just in case I don't make it in football. I never did anything else. I always just seek after football. I used to do my schoolwork. I was average. I wasn't the brightest, and I wasn't dunce. I was in between, I got my subjects. I haven't got maths and English yet, but I got my subjects 3 in all my subjects. I barely passed my subjects, but I passed them. I really wasn't that smart, but I'm smarter now. As I grow, I got more knowledge of things. I understand things better now. But growing up as a footballer, it wasn't easy. And I used to play in different leagues. After I finished primary school, I joined Sinclair's coaching school. And in this club, I learned a lot of different things, like who I should be as a person in society, not just my playing skill, but as a person, how I should carry about myself. Coaching school really helped me a lot in my personal development, as an individual. I used to play in different leagues like church leagues and Super League and these things, and I had a number one supporter, and this supporter is my father. My father, he loves football, he loves his children, which is me and my other brother. My father is the one who basically introduced me to football. He was always there supporting me in my football career. He was my number one supporter, but there was something that was happening that really was not helping me. He was my number one supporter, but it was not helping me. And it affected our relationship. Things are better now, way better now, and I will share that with you in another post, in another video. I will share that with you how my father and I became better, how we got closer in our relationship. But during that time of playing football and my father being there supporting me, it was not easy to tell my father that, Dad, I know that you are supporting me and I know that you want the best for me, but what you are doing is not helping me. My father used to be on the lines and he used to shout me, he used to tell me what to do. But one thing I never liked was when he compared me to someone, even while I'm playing. And my father did his best to support me, and I ruined it. I ruined that relationship with my father because I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know, as a child, I didn't know how to. By the way, he's the one that took us to coaching school. I remember clearly as a child, Zagalo, well, Troy, better known as Zagalo, came by my father's garage and told my father that he should carry us to Sinclair's coaching school because we used to always play in the road, and Troy saw our talent, so he told my father, and immediately my father took us to Sinclair's coaching school. So my father supported me, but I couldn't tell him that he was affecting my game. Even supporters were there saying, like, it's every time your father comes around, like, he can't play well, he can't score goal, because honestly when he's there I can't score goal, but when he's not there I'm scoring goal. So I used to go home and really used to think about it, but I never know how to deal with it, and my father, I blast out at him. Yeah, I blast out at him because I had it building up in me so long that when it came out, it wasn't nice. I shouted at him while I was playing the game. He was there supporting me, but he was kind of getting upset with me. And I can't remember if it's after I came on the lines for water or something, or while I was playing, but I remember turning and telling my father, just leave me alone, let me play my game. I want to play my game. And that did not turn out nice at all. that did not turn out the way I was expecting it to be. I did not expect to carry on that way. Sometimes when you play football and it's so heated, but I never expect me to let it out, especially on my father. It could have turned out a different way. After that day, my father stopped supporting me. He stopped supporting me in my football career. He stopped carrying me to football trainings. He was the one who used to buy all my boots, like all my boots. Until I actually finished high school is when my father stopped buying boots for me. When he realized that I could work and make my own money is when he stopped. But he never stopped supporting me until I blasted out and as it's disrespect. I disrespected my father. And I regretted it because it affected our relationship terribly. On multiple occasions, I will come home from training or work and talk to my father about football, and he would just show no interest at all. Until one of those days he said to me, all you can talk about is football. You can't talk about anything else. When before that, we used to talk football every day, talk about what I do wrong, what I should improve. After what happened on that football field, it was never the same. And it affected our relationship in such a way where we weren't having good communication with each other anymore. My father is a guy that really worked hard, still works out very hard to provide for his family. He never once had us hungry. No matter how angry he is, he never one day have us hungry. Not one day. He make sure I work extra hours. Even if sometimes my mother used to get angry and upset and hurt because sometimes it's time for him to come home and he's just out working hard, but it was to make sure that we don't ever hunger, and I really appreciated that, and I really admire him for the way he loved my mother and all that. But things were not going good with us. Things were not working out. So I started seeking God. I really seek God for guidance because my father and I wanted it to work out. I wanted to come home after scoring goal to be excited to share with my father. I wanted him to come and watch me play again, but it never happened, so I had to seek God. I really seek God. And in seeking God, God ordered me to fast, to go on a fast. This fast required me to leave my work. I was working construction. As soon as I finished school, my father sent me to learn trade. So I went and I learned. Right now I'm a mason. I can put down blocks, I can plaster, I can do all these things. Thanks to my father. But at that time I did not want to do it. At that time I just wanted to play football. I was living very close to a football field, like right behind my house, right on the side I should say. And I just used to come home and want to go on the field. I didn't want to work and all these things. I was just thinking of the future. I remember one day telling my father that he would never work in that garage again. And he said to me, that's okay, he will still work even if I make it. He will still work. Because he loves to work. He don't love to waste time. And I was battling with God like, God, why do you want me to be home fasting and My father is coming home and angry with me. My father used to come home and I understand why he used to get angry, because any father will be upset if they come home and see their son just home reading his Bible, and to him, he knew I was fasting, but to him it's like, hey, you need to go and do something. You need to, don't pretend like you're spending time with God when you should be out working. Yes, I understand you want to spend time with God, but actions, he always tell me action, faith without works is dead. You know, I need to work. But at that time, God was telling me my work is preparing myself, my skills, my football, my spiritual development, my spiritual life. That was my work. That is what God was telling me to work at. Because honestly, in construction, I used to fall out with everybody. Not everybody I worked with, but not the bosses, but the workers. I used to get in a lot of problems. Many times I almost get in a fight. I never get in any, but many times I almost hit person, big stone and all these things, because at that time I really wasn't as mature in God. I baptized at the age of 12, but I still was not, fully mature. So in the construction world, there's a lot of negative talking, there's a lot of hard talking, a lot of obscene languages, and it used to disturb my spirit. It used to disturb my spirit, terribly disturbed my spirit. And I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle hearing the obscenes. I couldn't get accustomed to it. I couldn't handle people barking at me, because at that time when I just started off construction, I was a laborer. So when I have to mix the mortar or concrete for the workers, they used to shout at me, and I never liked that. I used to feel like a slave. I used to feel like a slave in hot sun. Yeah, I used to feel like a slave in hot sun. Like, this is not what I'm called for. I just never felt comfortable. So when God had me home fasting, I never felt like I should go out to work. Yes, a part of me felt like that, but I never felt like it's a must that I need to go to work, because I never liked it in the first place. I never liked it. So my father and I used to hide from my father when he comes home sometimes, because he never understood that it was God was calling me into this fast, because God was about to make a way for me that no one was expecting, not even me. And I started fasting. I stayed home. I didn't care who was angry with me. I didn't care how my father felt anymore, because at that time I already realized that things weren't working out between him and I. So why should I still try to please him when I could just do what I need to do and please God and get to where God is calling me to go? Go where God is calling me to go. So I did it. We got a lot of falling out. A lot. And I understood him as a father. He didn't want to see me home. He just did not want to see me home. On multiple occasions, I failed God by listening to my father. And I had a battle with God where God is telling me, obey your parents. Right? Obey your parents, for this is right. But when I obey my father and go to work, it's problems. A lot of problems with my bosses who is owing me, my companions who I'm working with. problems, a lot of problems, and my father used to say, go. I used to come home and tell him that what is happening, and he used to be, go to work. Don't stay. You don't want to see me home. You don't want to see me home lingering around. So this same football field that is next to my home, I used to live on it, like literally live on it.
So until next time, guys, remember to subscribe right here, share, and like this video down below.
So until then,
bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.